Hey, what's up everyone? This is Max Power and this is another episode of Maxed Out. The Last of Us. A game that has received an enormous amount of hype, which led to dozens of reviews ranking it very highly. Another game from the talented Naughty Dog. I will say it at the start of this review so it's clear. The Last of Us is a game that deserves to be ranked at the very highest level of video games. It does so many things well that its few weaknesses or stumbles are almost insignificant against how much it does so well. It is not a perfect game, and it won't be one I constantly go back to and play, so the replayability is minimal for me. But the journey or adventure that I got to play will stick with me for a long time. Not many games of this quality get released very often. So let us grab our guns, keep our emotions in check, and delve into a civilization that has collapsed under the weight of the infected. As I played on the PS3 and the game is 5 years old, even the remaster isn't built from the ground up for the new system, I won't be saying much about the graphics other than that they are very beautiful for a last gen game. A lot of detail has gone into making the world portray the problems that have happened. Debris and rubbish, litter, so many scenes, and it's great almost seeing the moment where the world and its people stopped functioning normally. Cutscenes also play a large role, which I'll discuss a little later. The sound of the game is also kept to a minimum, which further makes the player a part of this world. Music only briefly plays a part, which makes it very noticeable when you finally do hear it. It fits in perfectly with the world created and enhances cutscenes for the full emotional impact. I do wish there was more of it, as I enjoyed it, but it makes sense how the developers chose to use it sparingly. Sound effects are all done well and weapon effects are satisfying. But the main elements of The Last of Us is the story and the characters. This is where the game is at its absolute best. One thing I will say about the story though, is that it is very good but not amazing. It isn't the best story I've ever seen in a game, nor does it come close. It's very solid and interesting enough as a foundation to let the characters shine. We've had so many great stories in games, movies and TV shows these days that it takes something really special and different to differentiate itself from the rest. If stories are going to be similar or not as complex, then they must be told differently or, in the case of The Last of Us, have such interesting characters that portray the gravity of the situation that they are in. The characters in this game are so well written and acted that it's a huge credit to Naughty Dog, some of the greatest in any game. The relationship between the two main characters of Joel and Ellie are simply astounding. These performances are better than many movies or TV shows. How they interact with each other and the dialogue they say keeps building these characters so much that by the end of the game, we know them. But just as any real person, they are much deeper than what we have seen so far. They have faults, strengths, secrets and fears, much of which is held close to the chest without giving anything away in this brutal world. The script is so tight and brilliantly written that it makes these characters come alive. But The Last of Us doesn't stop there. Even when the characters aren't saying anything, their facial expressions and emotion in their eyes tell a story or tell the player what they are thinking. You can fill in the gaps without one word being said. That, to me, is incredible. At these moments, you know what they are thinking about but not saying, not opening up to the other character so as not to get too emotionally attached. And that brings me to the cutscenes. These are directed so well that I could watch the whole game just consisting of these. The characters move, talk and gesture in such believable ways that it is a marvel to watch. So much care is taken and there are a lot of them, but never too many to become a negative. With a single player running 15 or 20 hours long, this game is longer than the majority of story-driven single player action games these days. Just when you may have had enough action, a cutscene will play to give the player a break, and each time they are great to watch. You can hear some of what was seen in the cutscene start to bleed into the gameplay with the banter between the characters. The slight tension or affection is still felt. We see these characters start off as strangers. We see them go through so much together over the course of the game, and when we reach the end, we just want to know more. More questions are raised as to how it will develop in future games. All of the supporting characters are treated with as much care and are as fleshed out as the main characters. They each have their strengths, weaknesses and fears, which makes them believable. We find out what they have been through and where they are going, and again, they portray all the emotions so well in cutscenes and their dialogue is written expertly. You'll meet many different supporting characters during the game, and they will all come and go for different reasons. They may have their own agenda which plays out very well and all adds to the story and the atmosphere of the game. When you meet these people, you feel like they have had a past before you, and some will have a future after you. They don't feel like they're simply there for the player's benefit. Each of them also has an impact on our main characters and further develops what they think and how their bond grows. In The Last of Us, nothing is black and white. There is a lot of grey area where morals and principles aren't so clear cut, and the developers treat it all fantastically. Just as any game, The Last of Us does have a few small weaknesses. The enemy AI overall is good, but sometimes stupid. After strangling a guard, it is common for his buddy to wander right over his dead corpse like nothing is out of the ordinary. Other times I found they were erratic in their patrolling patterns, like they had too much caffeine. Gunplay is good, but not great, and I've played better in other games. I struggled to get in and out of cover sometimes as the camera seemed to become confused. Nothing game-breaking, and all quite minor in such an otherwise strong game. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this game. It is a great experience for anyone that is wanting a good length, single-player, story-driven action game. Naughty Dog deserve all the praise they have received for this game, and I look forward to the sequel. Of course, it won't be to everyone's taste, but what it sets out to achieve, it does, and then some. I guess my thoughts about the game can be summed up quite simply like this. I envy all those who haven't played the game. You get to experience it for the first time. So that's my review, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like the video and share and subscribe to the channel. And I hope to catch you all next time on the next episode of Maxed Out.